Hola, bonjour. Those are all the languages I know. Aloha. I know a few words in Hawaiian. I'm super excited today. I have my Sam's Bead Box for the month of June 2025. It's called Sweet Peach and it's absolutely delicious. Sam's Bead Box is one of the newer companies to my channel. I just started reviewing this box for you guys just a few months ago, and honestly I'm asking myself how I lived without it for so long. It's so gorgeous. It's so good. It's such high quality. It's so beautifully curated, and this is only my third box, but there's always something really interesting and special in the box. So I want to do a fairly quick unboxing because as I was just setting up for my video, I've already designed 3 pieces. I don't know what I'll get done in this video, but I definitely want to work with the butterfly pendant, and I definitely want a bracelet from this. So let's jump into the unboxing. I'll show you what the contents are this month and we'll get to making. So the first thing up is a Czech glass fire polish drop. It's a peach opal Picasso 6 by 8 millimeter, and there's 12 pieces on the strand. Isn't that gorgeous? The finishes, the cuts around the drop, so pretty. And up next is a peach crystal gold flower, hibiscus flower. It's a Czech glass, 10 millimeter. There's 12 pieces on this strand. I never can have enough Czech glass flowers. I mean, who can? I cannot even destash my Czech glass flowers because I love them so much. And I'm highly impressed, every box I've done so far, with the gemstone presence in the box and the quality of the gemstones and the quantity. And this month is no exception. We have a strand of peach moonstone. They are 4 millimeter faceted rounds, and there's a 9-inch strand here. Isn't this absolutely gorgeous? I love this peachy pink color, and I am so impressed with the curation of colors. You'll see as we go on that these are accented with really rich purples and the mint green, and it's a beautiful combination. So the next gemstone is also peach moonstone, and it's a faceted round, and this is an 8 millimeter size bead. And let's see, the strand is 6 inches long on this one, but you know, like, you can do a gorgeous bracelet. You can definitely add a few things to this and get a necklace out of this. I really love that. And then I have an affinity for Czech glass fire polished rounds, and I think this is one of the prettiest colors that I've ever seen in this. It might be my favorite thing in the box. This is also my favorite size, the 6 millimeter. There's a 25 piece strand here, and this is peach lined crystal. So it is that pinky peachy color on the inside, and it's encased in the faceted crystal, and this is just beautiful. So this is going to be a necklace project, and I know for sure that it's going to be in the next video because it's a little bit of a special design. And so I'm not even going to cut this open today, but I'll be back in another video. I'm going to make a whole necklace centered around this bead because I just love it so much. And then these are fancy lavender drops in amethyst gold. There's an 8-piece strand here, also Czech glass. These are just gorgeous. The lavender or the amethyst color, and then the gold wash, you can see the embossing on the teardrop is just so beautiful. And then this is, I just love this. If I lay this across this color palette, I love this silk faceted Czech glass purple bead with the peach and the mint. It's a little bit of an unexpected combination, isn't it? But it works so beautifully. I just absolutely love this. So this purple silk is 4 millimeter, and there's 40 pieces here. So inspiring. And this is also going to go in this necklace, I believe. I think I might be saving this out for that necklace there. And then we got some center drilled flowers in that lavender amethyst with the gold spacing. Aren't they gorgeous? I just love the center drilled flowers. They're not as common as the flowers, you know, where the drill hole goes through the middle, but they are so much fun to work with. I absolutely love these. Absolutely gorgeous. And then we have a strand here of Czech glass daisy spacers in rustic gold. These are 5mm, and there are 50 pieces here. This is like the most perfect spacer you can dream of. So lovely. This is a Czech glass melon drop in mint and gold, and it's absolutely stunning. It's so smooth and silky to the touch. I mean, this is absolutely gorgeous. I need to do something with this. It's not part of one of my designs yet, but it's not for lack of loving it, for sure. I love it. And then again, look at this little mint and gold melon bead, 3mm. There's 50 pieces here. And you know, I just have to go back to, like, this is going to go, I can even set these aside because this is going to go in my necklace project. But look at that color palette. I don't know if I would have thought of this on my own, but I love it so much. The peachy pink, the mint green, and then that kind of dark purple. I really, really love it. I love it so much. Bravo, 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 Sam and Rachel. You guys are amazing. And then we have some elm leaves here in the mint and gold. You know, and this is something that I love, is when you get several bead shapes and sizes and you know, types of beads, but they're in the exact same color with the same wash. The design possibilities are amazing with that. And this leaf, I mean, Czech glass leaves and flowers, I never destash them. I just keep getting a larger organizing bin because they're just so beautiful. So I love that. And then this is amazing, you guys. This is a Russian Amazonite. It is faceted and it's an irregular tube, which I just love, that kind of embracing the natural element here. But look at this gorgeous color. There's 10 pieces here, and I absolutely am making a bracelet, and I think I might want to do that right. I want to do it right away. I'm super excited about it. And that brings me to this, the Czech glass sun coin, and this is mint, silk, and gold. And isn't that going to be a fabulous coin charm on this bracelet? That's hint, hint, that's one of my immediate projects. I love it so much. I love that they're two-sided. I love the gilding on it. It's just gorgeous. Okay, and this is so cool. This I put them in this dish, the two things. This is a Czech glass Czech glass coin peach and crystal mix. These are 10mm beads, and it's like a swirled glass. So every piece has its own little personality, if you will. Look how gorgeous this is. And I love coin beads. So beautiful. And they are unbelievably smooth and soft. They just feel so good to the touch. They're just absolutely delightful. And then there is also a Czech glass druck, and it's in the peach, and this is an 8mm bead. Get a little piece of wire so that I can get my fingers out of the way. A druck is a smooth, round bead that doesn't have table cutting or faceting or fluting, and this is just gorgeous. I even love how you can kind of see my wire through the bead. So pretty. And how many pieces did we get? 30 pieces of that. So that is just absolutely beautiful. And then up next is this gorgeous butterfly. This is a strawberry quartz butterfly pendant. It's 29 by 34mm, and it took me a minute to find the hole. I was actually going to do some fancy wire work on it, and then I realized that the hole is at the top corner of the wing, and so he hangs like he's flying. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look at the dimension, look at the profile on this. Isn't it beautiful? It's just gently scalloped for his wings. I love it, and I'm going to be making a pendant right away with that using some wire and some seed beads. I absolutely love that. And then we got some Czech glass flower focals in light peach and gold, 2 pieces of this 18mm bead. That's gorgeous. And then we also got these marquee oval beads in peach opal gold, 9 by 20mm. There's 2 pieces of those. They are so beautiful, and I love that they are two-sided, because if you decide to make a charm or really dangly earrings, they look great as they spin around. So I love those. I love that about the Czech beads. And then up next is a whole collection of brass. So there's 2 brass butterfly charms, and these are my favorite. I absolutely love these. They are incredibly dimensional. They have some weight to them, and they even are textured on the back, so they really are 2-sided. They're just gorgeous. Now, these gorgeous daisy diamond 2 pieces, I love these so much, but I'm going to do something with mine for my project that's coming up in the next video. I'm going to take some E6000 glue and I'm going to attach them like this so that they don't have a front and a back anymore, so that it's 2-sided and it's has a little bit more of a thickness. And I'm going to pair that with my butterfly. Like, my butterfly is going to be flying around, and this is going to be the drops on this necklace. So this is a little sneak peek into my design brain, because like I said, as I was setting up for the video, that's a necklace design. So that's going to be coming up in my next video. That's what I'm going to do with that. And there are also, in this brass collection, there are these bows, and they are absolutely gorgeous. What I love about these is that right here you have a little spot that you can glue on, like a flat back crystal. Even a pointed back crystal will probably work in there, because it's concave a little bit. And that's just gorgeous. Now, I've toyed with the idea of adding this on top of my butterfly, and that might happen when I get to working on it. But let's see, did I get everything? I think I did. So if you've been here before, you know that when I get any bead box, I like to personalize my designs by bringing in a few little things from my stash to change it up and to give it my own signature. And I'm not adding a whole lot to this. I have a few items from Curated beads. This is just some scrap links of a chain that I had from them. It's solid brass, it's gold plated, and it's e-coated so that it will not tarnish. And this was just left over from another project, and I think it looks great with the brass. I also have from Curated beads these gorgeous kind of marquee pillow, very smooth but really textural beads, and I'm going to be using that for this bracelet just as an add-in element. I have one of these 10mm gold filled diamond cut jump rings. That's going to go on my butterfly. I have 160 seed bead in gold. He's going to go for my butterfly pendant, and I just grabbed a couple of seed beads from my stash. I got these at a bead store here in my city, and these are Miyuki 11Os, and they are in a semi-matte opaque salmon. So it is that peachy pink, and these are going to be a good portion of the necklace that's coming up. I mean, look at that color combo. Isn't that gorgeous? So they're going to be a good portion of that, but I'm also going to use a few to embellish my butterfly, and then I just have some gold 11O Toho seed beads. So let me just clean up a bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do what I need to do for my necklace project that's coming up, just because I want this to really dry for a while, and then I'm going to do my pendant and my bracelet in this video. So I'm just going to use a little bit of my E6000 glue. It is I don't want to use my pliers, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on this shape where the edges will meet each other, just along the edge. If you're not familiar with E6000 glue, it pretty much bonds anything, and you have plenty of time to adjust things before it sets up, and I really love that. And also it dries rubbery, so it's really good for jewelry items because it's not crunchy hard, and that way things that move on our bodies, you know, it works with that. So I'm just going to make a little sandwich here. When you're doing this, it's a good idea to keep a toothpick or some scrap wire Now this, as I said, dries rubbery, so you can always, after it's dry, take your pliers and pull away the excess, but it's a little bit easier, I think, to go ahead and clean up as you're gluing. I'm just going to line these up and then set them down and leave them alone until I'm ready to put them on my necklace. Okay, and my little butterfly, you will be seeing him again. Okay, on to this butterfly. I am going to take some 22 gauge wire, and this is my soft flex wire, and it has an anti-tarnish coating on it. It looks like this, and it works really great for things like this. And I went down to 22 gauge because I want to have a few wraps around the middle of the butterfly, and then I want to be able to fit both strands through a 6/0 seed bead. So I'm just going to warm this a little bit before I start embellishing my butterfly, and just get him sitting in the middle of this wire, and just pull it really tight as I can. And I'm going to go around. That's why I went down to 22 gauge, because I want to do a couple of wraps around the middle of his body. And then I'm going to get these wires going up, bending them straight up, and pull them together. And while I have a hold of it with my thumb and forefinger, I'm going to get my nylon jaw pliers and just put a little twist in there. Now, I might not even need my 6/0 seed bead, but I'm going to try. Let me see what it looks like. Oh, it looks really beautiful. Okay. So it's nice and secure on there. I was going to tidy these up, but I like them just, I just love the look of wire laying across a bead, and especially this beautiful stone. So I have a little bit more here than I'm actually going to need, but I'm going to thread onto this wire some of the seed beads that are going to be going in my necklace. I'm going to do 9 seed beads and then one of these fluted beads for his antenna, and I'm going to trim about like that, and just make a spiral right down to my top bead. I'm going to do this spiral in this direction toward his wing, and when I get this side done, I'm going to do the same thing and spiral that way toward his wing. Just give it a little bit of a curve. And I did 9 seed beads. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, my butterfly is embellished. I thought about laying some seed beads on my wire too, but I just really love wire laying on a stone. So I'm going to put this jump ring through, and this is quite thick, so it's going to be a little tricky because the jump ring is not going to be able to like move freely through my butterfly, but it does go up to the hole, so I just need to close that. But before I do, I wanted to play with if I like the look of this bow laying on here or if it's too much. It's definitely too much. Okay. I didn't close the jump ring because I just wanted to experiment. It looked good when there was nothing else on the butterfly, but yeah, these are gonna be earrings now. I've already decided. So I'm just gonna get in here and close this jump ring as carefully as I can. Just get it over to the hole. And it's not gonna move very freely, but it will be secure because these are nice heavy gauge jump rings. And so now that is ready for my gold chain to go through. And I know it's not a great camera angle for you, but it's going to hang like that. And I just think it is so sweet, not difficult to do, and absolutely stunning. So I'm going to move on to my bracelet, which is equally as simple. It is a classic beaded chain. I have used my 2¼ millimeter one-step looper just to make components, even just taking one of my brass beads and doing the same thing, just making a component. And I'm going to show you how I did that, and then I'll make all the components and show you the connecting, just because I'm using 20 gauge wire with an anti-tarnish coating, and this cylindrical bead is an odd shape, and I just want to show you how you can make your beaded chains with the one-step looper even when you have an odd shaped bead. And of course you can do your loops with your pliers if you're comfortable with that. I like the consistency of my loops with my one-step looper, and it really saves my hand, you know, from the twisting. I have a little problem with my hand, so for me, I really love this tool. So I'm just going to feed on my bead, and when I love a bead, and when a bead is this gorgeous, and I mean it's a gemstone, and the shape and everything about it, I don't feel the need to do spacers or bead caps or anything, which is why I love this design, because the bead is just floating on wire and you just see the beauty of the bead. You know, when your supplies are this good, your designs are really easy. Okay, so I'm going to put this all the way up to the front jaw of the plier and gently close it. And can you see how it's just not going to sit quite well? I'm not going to be able to get my loop right up to the edge of the bead, and when I close the tool, then I have this space here, so I can push it in a little bit, but the tool makes that cut for me, and it wants to flip away. I want to try to keep it on this back plate because that's normally how you get the best loops. But as I close, I'm going to pull this down, and my loops are already a little bit misaligned, and on this one I was able to close the tool all the way, but because of this it's not closed totally. And for me that's totally okay, because I'm going to open this anyway and connect it directly to my next loop. So I'll go ahead and open it and add it on to my other component, and now I'll close this loop really well, make the wires touch, and work hard in a little bit and align my loops. They're not too badly misaligned, but a little bit. And so when you have like a strange you know, a strange shaped bead, or you know, it's not perfectly round, or even if it's too big, that's the look you're going to get with the one-step looper. And like I said, for me, that space there where this is moving up and down on the wire is what I want on this piece, because I really just want it to be really contemporary and the beads kind of floating. So for me, that was totally okay on this. Let me do another one. I'm going to sort through these. I want this really bright one. And so let's do another one. When you're using the one-step looper without beads, just put the wire in past the back jaw. You don't need the guide hole for that. And also, it's really good if your wire can be against this plate right here, rather than if it's out here like that. Well, see, it will even want to flip out of the tool sometimes, but now I've messed myself up. Trying to demonstrate, but if it's out here like that away from the back plate, that will for certain not close your loop. So if you can keep your wire against this back plate, let it make that fresh cut for you. You know, wire workers always do a fresh blunt cut before they do anything with wire, so it's a step that you can skip. And then as it's closing, I'll pull this down, and then it's centered on the wire, and then smooth, warm, straighten, and when I take it away, that loop is absolutely perfect. Now, it probably won't be so perfect when the bead goes on because of the profile of these beads, but I'm going to do another one with you just to show you. And so I'm going to this time use the guide hole, and again, you see that weird space right there. It's really unavoidable with these beads, so I'm going to let it make my cut, and it's already like it wanted to flip out of the tool because of the shape of this bead. So I'm going to go ahead and get my loop in there, pull it down, and now I am just putting stress on my bead right here. So I'm going to stop, and on some of these I did have to come in and close the loop with my plier, finish the loop with my plier. So for me, that's totally okay. I am okay with that. But like I said, don't get discouraged with the one-step looper. You can either embrace the way that it's going to make these loops or just do it with your pliers. I do it both ways. But when I'm making a beaded chain, I really love my one-step looper. So I'm going to get my bracelet length, and it'll just be a second for you, and I'll be back and show you how I'm going to connect this. Okay. Two of my favorite words in jewelry, simple and stunning. Look at this. It's just a little offset, just a little asymmetrical, just to break up the Amazonite. And I've added my 3 links in here, and I've used one of my diamond cut gold filled jump rings. And I'm going to do a double jump ring here just for looks. It's a very secure piece, but I just love the way that it looks. And these are such beautiful jump rings. They really add a little sparkle. So I'm just going to connect them side by side. So look how pretty that makes that beautiful transition. And then on this end, whoops, wrong end. On this end, I'm going to attach that lobster claw clasp. And this is from an assortment of gold-plated lobster claw clasp that I've reordered like 1,000 times. And I really love the swivel on this because it really makes putting on a bracelet by yourself really easy. And you know, so in essence, this is a simple beaded chain. And I love this type of jewelry with an extender chain because it gives me a final spot to really feature something. So it's going to go like this. And then this lobster claw clasp can clasp anywhere on the chain, but I'll most likely wear it on the first link here. And then on my final drop here, I have 4 Amazonite left over. And isn't that going to be perfect for earrings? So I have this decorative head pin. It's a flower with some little crystal rhinestones in the head pin, and I just thought it was beautiful. Like it's a poetic, the sun shining down on a flower. I don't know, I see my jewelry that way. And so here I'm just going to do a simple loop by hand. I just bent the head pin like that, and I'm just going to come in here and get a hold of the wire and bring it over. I start my simple loops the same way that I start my wrapped loops. Just get that wire around and get it down to the bead. Sorry, you guys. I pull, you know, the camera's between my hands and my eyes, and I pull this way so that I can actually see what I'm doing, but then I realize you can't see, so it's a challenge for both of us to see, but that's how I do my simple loops. And I'm going to come right here where the 2 wires meet each other with my snips and just cut. Just like that. And now I can open this simple loop and add it to, this was a solid link that was just left on this chain. That's how this chain came. It's all solid, so if I take it apart, I have to lose a link. So these connecting links on this chain are also solid. Purity Beads is a company that I found at a bead show a couple years back, and it's a father and son business, and I just love their chain because you can put anti-tarnish coating on chain, but it's a little bit of a challenge to get all the links coated, and so I love that the anti-tarnish coating is already there. And look at this, this is stunning. I mean, I just love it. And with an extender chain, you can actually lay the chain across your wrist and then bring your clasp around and connect it wherever you want. I mean, honestly, I could even connect this, it's a little bit short, but I could have even connected it through those jump rings. And this is really dramatic. I may even have to remove a link. I put this on here because it was left over from something. I may even have to remove this link and put my charm up one more. Then I'd have a link to use for something else, because I do love drama and I do love a dangle on a bracelet, but I also like to wear my jewelry. So I think on this piece I am going to have to do that. So when I have to remove a link on a solid chain, I am very careful, and I'll show you why. I have just made like a really heavy duty fancy oval jump ring. I cut at an angle there and open it like a regular jump ring, and it's not destroyed. And I have a little container that I keep these in. So any of my solid chain that I've had to cut and lose a link, they end up in here. And so I have all these fancy little solid brass chains, you know, little cut elements that I can use. And so the reason that I cut that instead of is because I want to keep the ring. I wanted to not lose this ring. I wanted to cut the smaller part. So what I'm going to do now is open my simple loop, and I'm going to attach this to my extender chain on my bracelet with one of my diamond cut jump rings that I've used here. So that way I have like a full link, and I still have this if I want to use this for something else. It, you know, when you can't open a link, you have to kind of decide what you're going to lose. And so I decided to do it that way. But I'm just going to pull out from my assortment. I love this. I've reordered this a million times as well. I'm just going to pull out the smallest size. It is a, I think these come in 4, 6, and 8 millimeter in the assortment, but they are gold filled, so they don't tarnish. And the diamond cutting makes it really almost impossible to see when it's closed really well that it's not a solid ring. So it's really pretty. So I'm just going to open that. Okay, and attach it here. That's much better. This is so gorgeous. So this is my style. Like, I will wear this constantly. It's not difficult to clasp, and I love the drama and the dangle. I don't know if you guys remember in the 1960s, but a coin, like a kind of an oversized coin charm at the end of a bracelet was really popular, and I just love that look. And I just love the asymmetry of this piece, the gemstones, the simplicity but the elegance. This two-sided sunburst coin bead is just perfect for this bracelet. It doesn't look great with my watermelon, but I just love it, and I am so excited about my necklace project. It is going to be a really cool design, very unique, multi-strand. I'm going to be using the rest of these in it, these seed beads, and as I said, my butterfly. And this is already sitting up really nicely. I've just like made a front to back, squish it together a bit, just made a front to back charm. So these will be the 2 drops on my upcoming project, and I will put some pictures up at the end. I also have a discount code for Sam's Bead Box if you're interested in receiving this. I'm asking myself how I lived without this box, and I know there are some past boxes available for sale on the website, and I'm thinking of going and shopping them because I am so impressed with the quality, with the amount of things that I get in the box, the gemstones, the Czech glass, the brass findings. What is better than that? If you make jewelry, what's better than that? So check the description box. You have to tap more and then more again, and the whole thing will open. I have my favorite findings there that are my current favorite findings, a link for Purity beads if you like the brass E-coated chain. My favorite tools are always there. And as always, I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, friends.